Playing the piano is an amazing adventure, and just like any other amazing adventure, the decisions you make will determine the roads that you will travel. What kind of music do you want to play? What instrument will you get? Do you want to play by ear? Should you learn to read sheet music? Learn from an app or register for a course? Should you have a teacher? And if you've already started your learning journey, then you know these questions and many others come up again and again. In this video, I will cover these topics plus some others to help you make the best decisions for reaching your piano goals. Hi everyone, welcome to the Piano Keys. I'm so glad that you're here. My name is Marina and I'm your best piano playing friend. I make courses and tutorials to help you reach your piano goals. This video was inspired by many questions from my viewers and my students and a post I recently read in an online forum. The post was from a 20-year-old who said that they spend a lot of time watching performance videos of pianists on YouTube, and they have this yearning to play the piano. But they were afraid to go ahead with learning the piano because they didn't want to waste time and money. Now, that question might seem kind of strange, but I think it does a really good job of putting into words this kind of cultural feeling that we have about learning to play a musical instrument, especially as an adult. So there's this kind of unspoken question in our culture of what is the purpose of learning to play the piano. And we've got hundreds of articles and videos and TV shows and things like that that are dedicated to kind of convincing you that piano learning or piano lessons are a good idea. For example, we'll say things like, oh, piano lessons for children help them develop both sides of the brain, the discipline of setting a goal and achieving it, the feeling of reward when they achieve those goals. Or for older adults, we say, well, learning to play the piano will help them keep their mental health, take away stress, things like that, and also help to kind of put off mental decline, intellectual decline. So we've got all these like other reasons for playing the piano, but very rarely do we just say, hey, I want to play the piano because I want to play the piano, or I want to learn the piano because that's something I want to do. I'm not sure why we feel like we need to justify it, but I'm here to give you permission. You do not have to justify to anybody why you are learning to play the piano. And many times adults will tell me, well, I'm not trying to be a professional or be on the stage. I'm just doing it for fun. As though anybody would play the piano not for fun, voluntarily. I don't know anyone who says, I'm going to learn to play the piano for torture because I really hate it. We all do it for fun, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Our hustle culture has convinced all of us that if there's not some money attached to an activity or some kind of career achievement or some other outside thing that we can point to as a result, that just doing something for fun is wasteful or unimportant. That's not true. People play video games for fun, they surf the internet for fun, they watch movies for fun, they play sports for fun, and we can also learn to play the piano for fun and take it seriously at the same time, so that the time and the money and the effort that we put into this fun activity actually pays off and helps us to play the pieces that we want to play. That's the whole point in having fun, right? Playing the stuff that you want to play is fun. So let's talk about golf for a second. I know it seems kind of like out there, but so many people play golf. And golf is a really expensive activity, pastime, fun thing to do. You need shoes, you need clothes, you need bags, you need carts, you need clubs, you need tees, you need money for the greens fees, and you need to pay for lessons so that you can learn the rules of the game, the proper holds of the clubs, all that stuff. All the parts of playing golf that need to be learned are best learned from a good teacher. But nobody looks at the golfer, who starts investing their time and money into all these things in order to play golf and says, hey, what are you doing? You're too old for this sort of thing. Or do you even have any talent for golf? Or are you trying to be a pro golfer? What do you want to be? Tiger Woods? Nobody does that, right? Because golf is kind of accepted as a leisure activity. People hang out together, they play golf, they use it as kind of like a business connection tool. But when someone decides to learn to play the piano, usually an adult will try to teach themselves. They'll get a book, or they'll look at some YouTube videos, or get an app, and not have any sort of real game plan or real system for learning to play well and correctly and in a way that will actually help them sustain this activity over the long haul. And usually they'll have an inherited piano, maybe a clunker, or just get some cheap keyboard because, well, after all, we're not trying to be professional here. Now, there's no hard data about this, and I don't even know if there have been any studies done or how they could be studies done, but it's generally accepted that most people who want to learn piano go into it and they drop the activity about 2 years in. Almost everybody who willingly starts to learn piano does it because they love the sound of the instrument and they want to make music themselves at the piano. But they don't consider some really important things. And so after a few months of just kind of flailing around, hit and miss, they start to feel frustrated and disappointed and without purpose. And that's when they play less and less and eventually just kind of leave the piano altogether. And it's not because they weren't motivated, it's not because they're too old, and it's certainly not because they didn't have the talent for it. So let's take a look at why this happens so often. The number one reason that people get discouraged and leave piano is that they have really loose or poorly defined goals. I just want to play some music. I just want to have some fun at the piano. So these aren't really goals that can be achieved through a systemized course of study, because what does it mean to play the piano? There are so many different levels of playing, right? I'm sure there's people who play not that great, and there's people on the professional and beyond level, the masters, right? So what level do you want to play? Do you want to get really, really good, like reach your potential? Or do you not mind, playing with mistakes? There's nothing wrong with those. If they don't bother you, just kind of getting through a song is enough for you. That's fine, but you have to define that going in. Now, chances are, as you go through your piano studies, your goals will change, and that's perfectly fine. But you have to start with something other than, I just want to have fun playing the piano. So along with this goes your why. So people like to talk about the big why, your reason for doing things. Why do you want to play the piano? Well, it feels good. It's relaxing. I think I'll enjoy it. Those are good, but they actually don't get to the heart of the matter, because I will guarantee you that when you are learning a piece and making mistakes and going through the normal learning curve, it's not going to feel relaxing. It's probably not going to feel fun sometimes. So if you're doing it for those reasons, look a little bit deeper. For me, playing the piano, it's my profession, but the reason I keep doing it is because there's something in me that needs to speak through music, and it can't be expressed in any other way. So it might be the same for you, or maybe it's just something you've always wanted and you're not sure why. You want to dig deep so that when things get difficult, you can still bring your reason why back and tell yourself, this is we're going through a rough spell, this is the learning curve, and yet my reason for doing it is, this is an achievement I want to have in my life. Whatever your why is, it's really important to know it. Another reason people quit and get frustrated is because they don't have a solid plan or a system of study. A lot of people will buy a book or start with a YouTube tutorial or an app or something like that doesn't really give them the good groundwork for doing this incredibly complicated activity that we call playing the piano. It is not easy to play. Anybody who tells you that you can learn to play in a month or so is lying to you, okay? You cannot start from scratch and play even with chords in a few weeks. It's not going to happen because there is a process to learning. It is intellectual, mental, meaning you understand concepts, and it is also physical. Your body, your muscles, your nerves, your tendons, they are all involved in making these motions on the keys. And you throw in both hands at the same time, and now you're really complicated. So there has to be a really systemized and layer by layer approach to learning. It doesn't mean that you're going to become a classical pianist on the stage or that you're going to be touring the world. That's not it at all. But there is a process of learning that is going to help you, and there is the hit and miss that is probably going to lead you to frustration, if not pain and tendonitis and things like that. So another reason that you might get frustrated and quit learning piano is you don't have a teacher. All right, before you turn off this video, hear me out. So people will say to me, I don't need a teacher or even a coaching once in a while because I'm not trying to be a professional. I'm just doing it for fun. Okay. First of all, you could be a really, really great pianist and still not go the next step of being a professional. Becoming a professional musician is a whole other can of worms. It doesn't come as a result of playing the piano as well as you want to, okay? So just because you don't want to be a professional doesn't mean you shouldn't give yourself the best chance for reaching your potential. It's kind of like somebody saying, well, I don't want to work out with weights because I don't want to look like a bodybuilder. That's pretty silly, right? Well, bodybuilders don't look like that because they work out with weights. They look like that because they have a very definite goal and a lifestyle that is super strict with eating and working out and sleeping and supplements. It's a whole other thing than just working out with weights. So having a teacher, even if it's just coaching once in a while, is not because you want to be a professional. It's because you want to give yourself the best chance of success. And to take this one step further, the thing that will really stall your progress is having the wrong teacher. Who you learn from is the most important factor in how good you're going to get. The second most important is being a good student and doing what that teacher tells you to do. So when looking for a teacher, most people will just go with the first person that they find, or the one that charges the least amount of money, or somebody that they know that knows a little bit of piano and can show them some tips. But that may not be the best path to take. So what you want to look for in a teacher is not only that they are nice, obviously you want to get along with them and feel valued and supported, but you want someone who's going to challenge you, find out what your goals are and hold you to them even when you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. They're going to usher you through there. They've been through the process. They look from a very high level, not just the next step ahead, but 10 steps ahead, 20 steps ahead, and they lead you down this road in a way that is going to get you to your goals. They have to talk about proper technique. You do not have to learn to read sheet music. You can learn to play by ear, absolutely. But if you're going to do that, then you really have to work on your ear training. So they need to help you with that sort of thing. Basically, your teacher has to be very knowledgeable and not only a good player, but be able to give you the information in a way that you can absorb it. So in little chunks, layers at a time, not too much thrown at your lap in a lesson where you go home and you don't know what you're doing because you didn't really understand it, right? So you have to speak to the level of the student and kind of push them in a direction that they have told you that they want to go. That's what a good teacher does. Now, if you want to learn from me, I've created lots of courses that will help you with proper technique and reading sheet music and a little bit of theory. I do offer coaching on Zoom, and if you take a 15-minute coaching, you'll get lots of feedback on what you're doing right, where you might be going off track. So look below this video. I will include links to my courses and my website where you can sign up for a Zoom coaching. Another thing that really holds people back from learning to play piano is no consistent practice schedule. So in our world, we're all very, very busy. That's just a given, okay? But if you look a little bit deeper, you generally find time to do the things that you want to do. So yesterday, Facebook was down for several hours. That was October 4th, 2021, if you're watching this in the future. And Facebook was down and Instagram was down, and I think WhatsApp was down. And I know for myself, I just kind of automatically kept checking Facebook. I don't even know why. It was down, I didn't need it, but I did notice that I got a lot more done in my day. So my point is, you're probably losing minutes here and there scrolling through your phone or looking at the TV when you're not even really watching what's on it, just to kind of zone out. You can use that time, even 5 minutes or 10 minutes here and there, to practice. So you can actually schedule it into your planner, your calendar. Piano from 7 to 7:15, right? While dinner is heating in the oven or whatever. So put it in there. It does not have to be an hour practice. 10 minutes a day, really 10 minutes a day, every single day is going to take you so far, so much further than trying to fit in an hour once a week. And the last thing I'm going to talk about here is not having real milestones to aim for. So I'm sure we're all familiar, or most of us are familiar with something like this. I'm going to go to my high school reunion and I want to look good. So I'm going to work out for the next 6 months and eat well so that I can fit into these clothes and look cute and the way I want to look when I meet these people that I haven't seen in a while, right? Or any kind of milestone. I'm going to run a marathon in a year, so I need to figure out what I'm going to do along the way. But my huge milestone is the marathon. Along the way, I'll do some 5Ks, some 10Ks, some half marathons. So these are like little carrots, if you want to think of it that way, that dangle in front of you that you can chase. I hate to put it like that, but we all need something to aim for, right? So not having anything to aim for will definitely stall your piano practice at some point. And your milestones can be whatever is meaningful for you. For example, one of the people who does my courses and is in my piano practice tips Facebook group has a goal to play Happy Birthday for each one of his friends. That's a pretty good goal. And then he made it go further by saying he wants to do different styles of Happy Birthday for his friends. So those are fun things to work toward. You can join that group and post videos of yourself performing, or just kind of in the practice curve of your piece that you're working on, and we'll all cheer you on and tell you how wonderful you are. So these can be goals for you too. If you have learned to play Moonlight Sonata from my tutorial, the first movement, you can post a video of yourself playing part of it or all of it and be included in my Moonlight Sonata worldwide performance project. You can do performances for your friends or your family. Invite your friends over for a share your talent party or anything like that. Whatever you want to do, whatever is going to be fun for you, so that you're working towards something that will definitely help you through the hard times. The piano is probably the most intimate and complete instrument that a person can play. You don't need other musicians to play with in order to sound good. You can play harmonies, melodies, rhythms. You have a huge range of dynamics, loud and soft sounds that you can make. You've got lots of pitches to choose from very high to very low. You can play chords. There's so many things you can do on the piano. It's definitely not an easy instrument to play, but with a solid plan and a proper understanding of what you're doing and why you're doing it, it is a priceless experience. Really, you can't put a price on this kind of feeling of playing the piano, and it can quite literally change your life. So keep practicing, have fun, and I will see you soon. Bye. Whether you're just starting to play the piano or even playing for a while, I've got lots of fun and helpful videos for you. Check out these videos and lots more on my channel.